Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Road to NoWhere podcast. I'm your host, Edward Extreme, and thank you for those of you tuning in for the first time. Episodes of this show are released every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to be there when these episodes go live, there you go. I'm going to be disabling the premiere feature on these shows for a little while, mostly because I'm not present when they go live. I would like to be, but also the viewership just isn't there just yet. But I will eventually get back to doing that, so bear with me for a little while, you guys. I'm trying to get a lot of things worked out and adjusted. And speaking of working things out, man, I hate working out. Everything still hurts. Shoulders better, but now it hurts for a completely different reason. My abdomen hurts. Thankfully, my a groin issue is no longer a thing. It's fully healed for the most part. Still a little tender, but it's mostly because, well, I'm an idiot. And yeah, long story. Won't get into it today. But I'm feeling good for the first time in a long time. Physically, I feel really good. My sleep pattern sucks at the moment, but hopefully that'll get corrected here very soon. Let's see. I guess that's all the health stuff I need to talk about, or that you guys probably want to hear about. So, I do want to mention two little things. Well, I don't know. It depends on how you take them. They may be a lot more bigger to you. But I just want to mention two little things real quick. Little news bits that came out this past Monday from LA. One is, of course, the announcement of WrestleMania 37 that will take place in the new stadium that is currently being built out in Inglewood. I'll be honest, I really wish I could go to this show. Every time they have done a WrestleMania from Southern California, it's just, holy crap. There's always just that one match that steals the show. And I would love to be present for that. Unfortunately, if I'm going to go to WrestleMania, I'm doing it up right. I'm going to WrestleMania. I'm going to Access. I'm going to the Raw after WrestleMania. I'm going to go to NXT. I want to go big or go home. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's about $5,000 to $6,000. I ain't got that kind of money. So maybe another time, maybe another year. But also, if I went right now, I'd be going by my lonesome, and that's just not fun. So maybe somewhere down the line I can change that, but for now I'm just going to focus on other things. But the other thing that was announced this past Monday, also out of LA, is that Phillip Rivers will no longer be the starting quarterback for the Chargers. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not a big football guy. I'm not a sports guy in general, but I always had the utmost respect for Phillip Rivers. And to me, he was and will always be the QB of the Chargers. It sucks, and it kind of is a little heartbreaking to hear about it, but it is what it is. There's reasons for it. I don't know him, nor do I care to know him. All I can say is I hope Rivers lands in a good spot with a good team, and he can finally get that ring. You know what I mean? The guy has busted his ass. He's tried his hardest. He just has had crap teams around him. You know, they had a great team one year, and then they fucked it up. And I don't think they've gotten that close since. But then again, like I said, I don't follow the game that well. I didn't follow the team that well, but I still have the utmost respect for the man, and I wish him the best of luck. Like I said, for me, it just sucks because I was a fan of what he did with the Chargers, and he's probably one of the main reasons I kept watching the game and watching them play after they moved to LA. So, with that, as far as I'm concerned, LA, enjoy the Chargers. There's really nothing for me now to watch the games anymore and to support that team. So, there you go. That being said, and that being the last little newsy type thing I want to talk about, I do want to talk to you guys today about, well, I guess you could call it my state of the game for Warframe, Borderlands, and even Destiny 2. Now, the thing is, I want to start with Destiny 2 because as much as I want to sit here and like everyone else, bitch and complain about every little thing wrong with the game, the reskins, blah, 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 blah. The truth of the matter is, I don't play the game much, if at all, anymore. In fact, I think the last time I really played Destiny was in October. Since then, I've dealt with a bunch of things. I've been just enjoying Warframe and Borderlands. Honestly, I kind of knew this was going to happen with the release of Borderlands, as I've been looking forward to Borderlands 3 for a long time. I know a lot of people aren't thrilled with the current state of the game, but I got to be honest with you, I still enjoy playing Borderlands over Destiny. And I would say I feel the same way about Warframe and Borderlands. Like, I feel the same exact way for both games. But when it comes to Destiny, there's always going to be a special place in my heart for that game. I still have love for it. I just wish it was in a much, much, much better state. The rumor that Trials of Osiris is the big thing coming back next season, and it's going to be a permanent addition, but it's also the seasonal activity being brought out. It's like, well, I definitely ain't going to be playing the fucking game if that's the case. So, yeah, for those that don't know, I hate Destiny's PvP. I've been very public about my stance on the PvP and how much I dislike it and how unbalanced and just broken it is. And they have done absolutely nothing to really fix it. So, that being said, as far as I'm concerned, I won't say the game is dead, but at least for me, it's just there's no reason to play. Also, I have no one to play the game with anymore. My clan decided they didn't like the way I was doing things, which is kind of hilarious to me, considering one of the ringleaders for this mass exodus that occurred was a guy who left, didn't play the game for over a year. I stopped playing for like 3 weeks, and poof, like magic, they were all gone. And yeah, that part bums me out, but that has nothing directly to do with the game. It was individuals' decisions, and it sucks. But even if I had people to play it with right now, outside of maybe doing the raids, I really have no heavy interest in playing Destiny anymore. And honestly, my only interest is in getting the exotics from the raids. Outside of that, I don't give a fuck. God's honest truth. Like, I'm good. So that's my stance on the game right now. I mean, there's a lot of problems with it. It's too many, like way too many to list, and I would be here for an hour plus easily. I can't do an hour plus. Plus, I doubt you guys want to hear about all that. You already know the issues if you play the game. So I just hope they get their shit together, because they need to. That being said, I do want to have some fun, and I want to talk about Borderlands 3 and the recently announced massive updates that are coming to the game. They've got a lot planned. Hell, we've got an update coming out the day this video releases on the 13th of February. By the way, for those of you that... I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but for those of you that care, this video is being recorded on February 12th. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, I actually made one before 4 in the morning. Yeah, I'm getting better at this. Oh, God, that's kind of disappointing and sad at the same time. Anyways, nah, man, like, I really am looking forward to this update. We get a level cap increase. It's only 3 levels, but hey, it's better than nothing. We get a seasonal event that's only lasting for a week. So, yeah, for all you that won't be able to play, I fucking feel sorry for you. Like, that sucks. Now, if you're on PlayStation, I'll see what I can do about hooking you guys up with some stuff, with some gear from this event. But I make no promises, okay? I make no promises. But if you are on PlayStation and you want the gear from the event that's going to be taking place and you aren't able to get it yourself, just let me know down in the comments below. And if I can hook you up, I will. All right? That being said, what do I want to do? Like, what would I want to add to the game? Because right now, I think the game is in a good place. Do I think it needs some work? Yeah, we definitely need something to spend Iridium on. It ain't shit right now. I don't want chests. I don't want that shit. Like, I want an actual thing. And the thing is, we don't know everything that's coming with our March update. We also don't know what's coming with the next DLC. So, as much as I want to sit here and list off all that, all I want to say is I really am happy with the current status of Borderlands 3. Could it be better? Yes. Are there issues with the game? Depends on who you ask. Me personally, knowing that a lot of the things people have been asking for are going to be happening, hey, I'm happy with that. Yes, we aren't getting it till March, but, you know, it's coming. That's all that matters, at least for me. But it does kind of make me wonder, what additional things have they not announced just yet that they're waiting to announce? Now, we know there's a full DLC reveal coming. I think it's next Friday from PAX. So that'll be interesting. I definitely am looking forward to that. And like I said, I'm just happy with the current state of the game. I could say the same thing for Warframe. The problem is I do have an issue with Warframe. I have an issue with Borderlands as well. I have a couple. But my issues with Borderlands are purely the fact that we don't have anything to spend currencies on. I also wish there was a more useful means for all the loot we get. Like, I would love a machine in Borderlands that allowed you to scrap the weapons you find, but instead of just deleting the weapon, like, you know, selling them to the vending machines right now, this machine would take all of the weapons, break them down into their individual parts, and then you could rebuild like a weapon of your choice, but it has the parts you want it to have. It has the stats you want. Essentially, imagine having the Gibbs save editor, but built into the game, and all you got to do is play the game. To me, that just gives a lot more replay value to the game as a whole, but also it gives more value to the loot that's dropping. You know, the legendaries, even the really crappy rolls, have a reason to exist now. Like, it's not just endless piles of crap. Some of that stuff may be useful for building a weapon you want. Not just legendaries, but epic weapons and blue weapons, you know, even, hell, maybe even some of the unique weapons. I don't know. It just gives more value to it than what it currently has. Because currently, a lot of the gear in the game, the grind, you'll get part of what you want, and then you get shit with the other parts. It's like, I would love to have, like I said, a Gibbs save editor built into Borderlands 3. It gives me personally more value for the gear I pick up. I do want a larger backpack. I think everyone wants that, just so that, you know, they can hold and store more of their gear. Obviously, you know, additional storage space. By the way, I need to call out something here. Another YouTuber recently did a video kind of talking about similar stuff. And in the video, he made the comment that he would love to see like a dim item manager in Borderlands 3. Here's the problem with that. This game, Borderlands 3, is not a server-side saved game. That's why an item manager type thing would never work. Is it possible that Gearbox could come up with something like that? Yeah. But do you really want them to divert resources from updating and balancing the game and creating new content to creating an app so you can move your gear around? Yeah, I'll take the content and the updates over a fucking app that really won't do half of what people want it to do. That's just how I feel about it, okay? I got the idea, the novel concept of it. The reason why it just wouldn't work, they would have to literally create something from the ground up. And I don't know how that would work on PC. On PlayStation, I can see how that could kind of work. I don't know how it would work on Xbox, but honestly, I don't see it being a viable option. Would be cool, but again, it'd be easier to build if the game was server-side saved instead of saved local. So, kind of defeats the purpose in that aspect. That being said, I do like the idea of that being a thing, but we already kind of have it with the bank. But I do agree with the same YouTuber who said we should also get character banks. I just think the way it should go is we should have like 40 slots or whatever our current backpack max is. So if the max gets up to like 50 or 60, okay, then the bank can move 50 or 60 items around. That just makes sense to me. And then each character has, let's say, 500 bank slots. It's a lot, but it gives more value to the gear you're dropping. And even more so if we had that vending machine, I don't know. All of these things are things I would love to see in the game. I'd love to see in a machine or a vendor that wipes anointments and can put anointments on weapons. All of this would be good for the Iridium because right now, I don't know about you guys, but I ain't got shit to spend Iridium on. I bought all the cosmetics. I bought everything. So Iridium at this point is just there. So that's my thing. That's my issue with Borderlands right now is the whole Iridium currency just has no use. And, it is what it is. But hopefully they've got some stuff coming out that they haven't announced just yet. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm just slashing in a corner, I actually had to walk out of the room at this point, and yeah, I just kept doing this because I was like, well, I can't really pause the gameplay. I could have. I'm just lazy. Anyways, so that being said, I guess I should touch on Warframe since I do want to mention it. And honestly, out of all the games I've mentioned today, the one that has the least amount of issue for me is this game. It's kind of why I use it as the gameplay. In my opinion, right now, Warframe is at its absolute best it has ever been. The game is fun. It's engaging. There's always something to do. You don't feel like you're wasting your time playing this game. You're always able to do something, chase something. At least for me, that's how it feels. But I've bitched about this before, and I'm about to bitch about it again. I still think the sortie needs a rework. Now, I know this has been announced to be happening later this year at some point, but they haven't said what they're going to do. So again, I want to remind everyone that at one point in time, DE, Digital Extreme, had stated that they would be adding a currency system to the sortie. A more direct way of getting rewarded for doing the sortie. Now, you would still, in the original plan, you would still get a random drop for completing the sortie, but then you would also get this currency. I still like that idea, but I have another one that I want to throw out there, and it's actually something that's already in the game. If you ever go to the Plains of Eidolon or to Orbis Vallis, I think that's how it's said, you do these bounties, all right? You do these bounties, and when you do the bounties, they are multiple stages, just like the sortie. After you complete each stage, you get a reward. Now, the rewards for each stage there's probabilities of getting a certain reward. You are more likely to get a rare reward from the final, stage of the bounty. And so, to me, that is what I think would make the sorties feel more rewarding and more valuable if you were awarded something after every mission. It seems a little excessive, and yes, it would also kind of devalue some of the rewards a little bit, but I mean, let's look at the rewards. You got ribbon mods, you got an Iatan sculpture, you have Endo, you have 3-day boosters, you have Orking, Reactor, Catalyst, and then I think, what was the other one? I think you get Forma. I swear, I don't think that's accurate. Exilus Adapter, that's one of the other ones. And then, of course, the big thing that everybody wants, the hardest thing to get from the sortie, is the Legendary Core. So, okay, if you get a chance at getting any of these rewards at any time, but a higher probability when you complete the third stage of getting the higher tier rewards, it just, I don't know. I like the idea of that. I like how the bounty system works right now in the Plains and, of course, Orbis Vallis. And I would just love, I swear I'm saying that wrong, by the way. I guarantee I'm saying it wrong. But I would, just to me, that seems more like it would be more rewarding long term than the currency system. Although I still like the idea of the currency system just a little bit more, because it gives 100% control of what you can get as opposed to random drops. But I think that's what makes the sorties so fun sometimes, is the random drop nature of it. So I kind of don't want to delete that part of it. That's why I think the currency sounded like a great idea at the time, but now thinking about it, I think the bounty system will be better. And by that I mean you get rewarded after every mission, and each mission has a different, value chance of certain items dropping. Like, you have a higher chance of getting a ribbon mod in the first mission, or the second mission, whatever. Like, how they work it out would be up to them, but I think it would feel more rewarding, and the time investment to do the sortie would be more justified. That is literally my only complaint about the game right now. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, there are a couple little glitches going on, but I can live with the glitches. As far as like gameplay and mechanics are concerned, my thing ultimately, I just want, I guess I want the sorties to get fucking dealt with finally. I'm tired of them being the same boring crap that they are. I mean, it's like you do all this work, deal with all this shit, and mind you, 95% of the time I do the sortie solo. Only when certain missions like defense or interception pop up, then I grab then I'll go into a public lobby, or I'll grab somebody to do it with me. But most of the time I tend to do it by myself because, well, it's just easier for me that way, I guess. Plus, I like the challenge of doing it by myself. But interception, I ain't got a build capable of that shit, and I just don't want to deal with it. So I'll always jump into a public lobby for those ones. But all in all, that's my big issue, is the sortie. I mean, hell, you could add 2 more missions and really flesh it out a little more. That, I think, would also make people a little happier. Give the sortie a little more challenge. And also, getting a reward every single mission would have more value, because as you go up in the tiers, the difficulty also ramps up, and so the quality of the rewards would ramp up. And I think that would make it just a little bit more worthwhile. But what do I know? I don't have anything to do with game design. I'm just a guy who plays video games. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me for this week's episode. I will be back next week, and I'm going to tell you guys right now in advance, I've been wanting to do a storytime episode for a while. I think it's time. I think it's time we do a storytime. And so I have a story for you. It's one I definitely think I haven't told before. But I'm going to share a story with you guys next week that may get me in some trouble. Until then, adios.